Holiday sports fans, welcome. We got a special interview today with none other than Frank The Crank Camacho. Frank has done something over the weekend that I'm pretty sure no one has done on Guam in recent memory, let alone ever. Um, Crank actually spent 24 hours walking across the island, and he's here to share that experience with you all. So, first of all, Holiday Crank, how are you feeling after your 24-hour walk?
Dude, what's up, GSPN? Mike, Robbie. Dude, well, it is, man, a few days, and I'm actually starting to feel a little better, but still hurting in my legs and like my hip flexor. Like honestly, like I have a huge appreciation for endurance athletes. You know what I mean? For like marathon runners or, dude. So check this out. My goal this year was to do a half marathon.
Mm.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was for a great cause. We worked with the Guam Homeless Coalition and we raised funds. We raised actually like over 15 grand for the Guam Homeless Coalition. It was crazy, man. The amount of support and the amount of donations and sponsors for the event was wild, like way beyond my expectations. I was kind of looking at the ballpark of a few $100 to like $1,000 to $2,000, and the community came out, and the business partners or businesses came out. It was dope. I mean, it was probably one of top 3, top 5 hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But it was through all the pain and the agony and experiences. Oh, it was amazing, bro. It was amazing. So we went from Malesso Pier all the way to Retidian Point.
Yeah.
So we started at 8 a.m. on Friday, and so it was a run and walk, and I was running a couple of the legs. There's a couple hills that I really wanted to kill. Umatic Hill, Umatic to Agate. I wanted to run that one. And then I ran from Asen to Chief Kapua, did a couple miles inside to Muning, and then I ran after. But it was a great experience. It was awesome.
Also, this event, I remember catching wind that this event wasn't exactly a huge planned out event. It was something that you planned out within a month span. Can you talk about how this all came together, really, and just what factors played into you getting this idea and then the plan to execute the idea to make it actually happen?
Yeah, actually, it was 3 weeks, bro. It was 3 weeks. Crazy, yeah, and it was so cool how much of an like an impact, or how much it was going around, because I was running one day and I never had like an endpoint. Usually I would say, okay, I'm gonna run from Adaloop to this place and back, and I just kept running, dude. I think I clocked in like 10 miles that day, and then that was the longest I've ever ran before. But I was just like, man, I would call it a runner's high or whatever you want to call it, but I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I wanna do something to push myself, not only physically but mentally, because I know I'm gonna push myself mentally. So you know what, man, I'm gonna go do this 24-hour freaking run and walk across the island. Why not, dude? Why not? And then I caught wind of a homeless veteran. He was on an interview, and man, all the misconceptions that I had for houseless individuals, homeless, people, houseless individuals. Gosh, it was mind blowing, bro. It answered a lot of questions and a lot of myths and misconceptions. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do one thing, whatever, right? Let me do it for cause. And I was like, man, might as well contacted the Guam Homeless Coalition, and from there it just kind of like we kind of worked it out. And then I on a promotional standpoint, I don't know how to raise funds, no nothing. I don't really know how to throw an event. So my boy Matt Scroll with Guam Time, I was like, hey Matt, I want to do. He's like, oh, all right, cool. Like in the summertime or whatever. I'm like, no, man, Just do it next week. He's like, man, okay, maybe not next week, but maybe the week after, So we put this together. He put this together, man, in 2 weeks, and yeah, we scheduled everything out, and yeah, he said, he's like, you got to have it organized with different stops and the route, because I was just gonna wing it. You know what I mean? Like I was gonna be like, hey, dude, let's go, and then hey, let's go down Sigua Falls, or let's go to Sigua Falls, or let's go to Mount Lam Lam. In my mind, that's how I had it, and it was really what inspired me was the scene in Forrest Gump when he just started running. I just started running. I just kept. It was cool. It was kind of just one of those things.
24 hours walking is a long time. Exercising for an hour, 2 hours a day is already exhausting enough, but you actually spent the whole 24 hours on your feet. That experience alone, what is something that I guess you learned personally from the physical side of it? And then after, if you can share something you learned from the mental side of it as well.
One word: can. You can do it, dude. You can't, you know what I mean? Like I had in my mind to do a half marathon this year, and I cleared 50 miles. Yeah, a lot of it was walking, but a lot of it, I think I ran maybe like a total of like 15 miles, 16 miles. But if anything, the walking was just so painful. Bro, like, it wasn't like a cardiovascular thing to where like I was feeling gassed and I was like, dude, it was the excruciating pain. Dude, so by the time we got to Agana,
yeah.
So from Melissa to Agana, dude, I was wrecked, bro. Hold on, sorry about that. That's outside my house.
You're fine.
When I got to Agana, all of us were wrecked, and I was like, yo, we're only I think less than 20 miles in, dude, and we still gotta go to Retidian. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is crazy. I started feeling it actually when I saw Mike. When I saw Mike and he was taking photos.
Yeah,
that's when I started in Agate. I started feeling. I was like, oh, okay, whew, all right, we're in Agate. We can muscle through this. And then when we got to Agana, my goodness, bro, it was the pain. It was the physical pain was just excruciating. And then by the time Agana, that was that. But all the honks and all the honks, all the waves, all the, yeah, Craig, go. That was like, okay, dude, there's no way we're going to stop here. We can't stop at Marine Drive, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was, and then, the two hardest times was, the three hardest times was NCS. From GRMC to starts. That was a pretty gnarly one. And then the one that we'll never forget is Retidian, the last 7 miles, the last 6 miles.
Oh man, that sounds excruciating.
Yeah, it was excruciating, bro, because our bodies were shot. Hold on, real quick, guys. Yeah, like our bodies were shot, and it was, so we turned off our lights when we got to Retidian, to right at the entrance of the road, because it was pitch black. So we turned off all our lights and we just started walking, and it was the never-ending road, dude.
Oh no.
The never-ending road, like Rome said it right. Expectation was our handicap, because every time we were going and we're like, oh, dude, the light's right there. It was pitch black, So actually it was really cool because it was pitch black, but the stars were so bright, it was lighting up the road. You know what I mean? So it was just talk about meditation. You know what I mean? Like excruciating pain, but massive amounts of beauty.
Yeah.
It was just like craziness. But that road just never ended, dude. That road never. It's like, yo, man, this is like, what are we? But wait, dude, that 7 miles, 6 miles. No one was talking. Quiet. Just all you hear was steps. Tuck, 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 tuck. Yeah, it was wild.
I gotta ask too, because you advertised this like you were gonna do it, but you had a crew. You had a crew that stuck with you the whole way through. Want to give
Yes,
those dudes a shout out
yes,
because it was not. I mean,
man,
it wasn't just Frank the Crank. I mean, your face was on it, but whenever everyone saw that, you had a whole crew with you.
bro. Yes, and there was a lot of people that joined us in different parts of the legs,
Uh-huh.
which because there was four of us that made it from Malesu all the way to the end. You know, and so we started off with this guy Nono Anthony. He joined us from Malesu all the way to Dedido to the mall.
Wow.
Um, Avo, he joined us from Agate all the way to NCS Shell. And then had like Brogan, Mike Sanchez, Ollie, and man, I can't imagine, I can't name all of them,
Yeah.
but Ray Shinohara, dude, Spartan, man, 7-time like combat battle Marine veteran,
Yeah.
Roman Delacruz. Rome
Yeah.
carried the flag
Yeah.
the whole time, dude.
The whole
And
time.
then
Wow.
the whole time, and then Matt Skro, freaking Spartans. It was like the Fellowship of the Ring. We were on our way to Mordor. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was. So I gotta give a shout out to them because we all tried to fed off each other. Like I had it in my mind to do it alone, but I don't know how that would have happened, bro. Like it was really a champion team, that we made it all the way through for the Guam Homeless Coalition.
I also got to ask too because I know we take for granted every day. Probably we drive through it. We live here. We see it every day, but we never get a chance to soak it all in. You had the perfect opportunity to soak up the whole island view. How beautiful is Guam? Just you got to experience it.
Man, honestly, dude, Robbie and Mike, since you guys are on this call right now,
Yeah.
you gotta walk down south, bro.
Mhm.
Before you die, you have to walk down south. Not drive it, not moped, not bicycle. You gotta walk, dude. And maybe you don't have to do the whole thing, but you can at least go from Malessa to like through right to Agate, and then just
Yeah.
kind of like catch a ride back. But that was just, man, beautiful. That was beautiful, dude. And then and then of course, right, you get through like Ganya to Muning, all of that, right? Like, we drive that. You can always walk that because there's a sidewalk. Um, so, dude, that was beautiful. And then I highly recommend, man, if you're like a stars kind of guy, you have to walk through Reptilian at night. No flashlight, dude. Have a flashlight, right? But just turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is I was so blessed to be able to see Guam with a whole different lens. Riding in the back of the truck, hey, it's cool down, right? Driving around the island. Okay, yeah, riding on a moped, even better. On a bike, what I mean, cool. But dude, there were so many places where we were like, whoa, look at that. Like, it was so, there were like right by the road, it looked like a bunch of it looked like the Garden of Eden, but it was naturally made. You know what I mean? And we didn't really want to be that guy to be like, just picture, all the time. But it was like, I would love when my boys get older, I want to do that walk with at least certain parts of this, like all over the island.
That's great. Yeah, you talked about your experience. You talked about how you're feeling after. We did want to give you a couple of days rest before we hit you up for an interview because
Yeah.
anyone going through a 24-hour walk, we wanted to give them a little time. But this 2020 obviously was a terrible year for sports. And terrible year for just events. It threw everyone off balance. But 2021, it looks like we're getting back on track. Hopefully, it seems we're getting back on track. So with that in mind, you want to share what's coming up with what's next for The Crank? What do you got working on? Any projects you have working on? Any events or anything at all?
So I'm definitely not going to be running anytime soon. No, but I would love to get April card. So from what too sure if it's confirmed yet, but yeah, I spoke to my manager to get me back on it. They're going to be back in Singapore in April. I think Wei Li, the Chinese weight champion, women's champion,
Yeah.
going to be headlining that card. And yeah, so I want to get on that card. So it's nice. Things are opening up. You know, they're saying that Florida's going to start having fights, and I haven't really been keeping up with sports here on Guam, but it's looking, it's looking hopeful. It's looking good.
Yeah, we're all
And
crossing our fingers.
yeah, crossing our fingers, man. And to all the athletes, for the athletes that stayed ready in 2020, you guys are going to really excel in 2021, because while everyone was sleeping and everyone was chilling, you were still working. So, man, props to you guys. And then to everyone else, you know what I mean, that still stayed the path and had to, battle all these obstacles in 2020. Holy moly. I got 3 fights canceled, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was
and then I freaking I had a really, really short fight in 2020. So yeah, man, it's we can do it, and we will do it. So just I'm really hopeful, and I'm really looking forward to 2021.
Yeah, we're all hopeful, and we can't wait to see you back in the cage. We talked about the event. If you want to see videos and experiences firsthand, Frank has documented a lot of it on his social media pages and his website. So feel free to check out those. If you want the events as it happened, Crank was videoing. I remember seeing a lot of your videos. You can see the energy levels start to fade. His first videos are good and energetic.
Yeah.
And at the very end, you can see just how much energy he had left. So be sure to check out those videos on the Crank social media pages. But thank you so much, Crank, for joining us today. We hope that, or we're glad that your experience, was very fruitful in both, the fundraiser and also just the mental experience that you guys gained from it. So thank you so much for joining us. Big shout out to you and the crew again for doing what you did, because it was one of those uplifting stories and moments that we kind of need to remind us that there's still a lot of good out there. So
yeah, for sure. Especially with with not having events for 2020, you know what I mean? It was kind of cool to have like some sort of like events that everyone could be a part of for such a great cause, Robbie, if you don't mind, I would love to thank, everyone, man, you guys first, for always shedding light on these great causes. And then, but also to like all the individual donors that donated on guamtime.net. Yo, like that was amazing. And special thanks to our sponsors for the event, like Addis Trust, Bank of Guam, Cars Plus, Cobbles Insurance, Delta Tire and Lube, Monster Hydro, Paradise Fitness, Payless, Pepsi, 76. Like these guys, without hesitation, they were able to just, they're like, yeah, man, we're in. So huge shout out to them. And if people can just, we received so much love and so much kindness on this walk. And if people can just show that same amount to our underserved communities, we'll have a way better Guam, and we're on the right track, And I'll leave you guys with this, dude. Ray Shinohara, one of the Spartans, you know what I mean? I said it in my last video, and I just thought it was something that really hit home for me. I think it was an NCS, dude. We were already starting to quiet down, and dude, it was just all you hear were footsteps. But he was like, "Hey, Frank." I asked him a question, and he said, I asked him like, "Man, what do you? Like, how do you solve this thing? You know what I mean? How do you solve homelessness? And he's like, honestly, it's just be kind, show love, and make an impact where you can. So I was like, right on, dude. So man, I hope you guys can take that and. Thank you guys, bro. You guys do an amazing job, a well-needed job for like with media. You know what I mean? And shoot, I don't know about walking another 24 hours, but shoot, yeah. Well, it's crazy. People were asking me about like an annual event. Wow. Oh, I was like, I mean, yeah, you can walk it, bro. I've already seen Guam.
Yeah, that's definitely once in a lifetime opportunities, and that's, yeah, I don't know. That's 2 miles to me is already a long time. So 20 50
Dude,
miles for
dude.
24 hours.
And what's crazy too is that they said that okay, maybe this is just like sympathy, moral victories that I'm gonna have, but they said that walking is pretty tough because it's less step, you more steps, and it's like super hard on your feet, you know. Yo, shout out to Art Toves and Nathan Brown, 100 mile Brown. Those
Yeah.
freaking Spartans ran the whole.
Holy cow.
Dude, they we started together, and then bro. Nathan Brown he held an 8-minute mile for 40 miles.
Oh my goodness. What?
So he made it there. He made it there in under 6 hours, dude.
Oh, that's crazy.
So by the time we were in Agana, they were in their. They're like, yeah, shoot, boys.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure that
Yeah.
added
So
some extra motivation to finish, though.
yes, no, for sure. You know, and they were really cheering us on, like, hey, man, freaking go do it, go do it. You know, like, man, hats off to those guys because that really pushed me to keep going. You know, like actually that pushed me when we got to Retidian to continue to run. You know, I think I got like a 2-hour nap, and then I got up at 5 a.m. and I just kept running.
Awesome.
But anyway, before
Yeah,
we get into more stories, but we're
no
gonna stay here
problem.
forever.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you again, Crank, for joining us here, sharing your experience with us. It's always great to have you. It's always great to check in with you. And you did this event, but your MMA career is far from over. We still know we're going to see you in that cage, and
Hell
that
yeah.
support, that local support. You know how it is. We're always going to support you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Mike, later, bro. Robbie, solid. You guys rock.
Adios, brother. We'll catch up with you soon.
Shoot.